Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome to the Bat Mitzvah of Cali C. We are going to begin with some music to get us in the Shabbat spirit, and then we will be excited to welcome Cali and her family to our service.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome to the Bat Mitzvah of Cali C. We are so excited to celebrate with everyone this Shabbat. We have lots of family from around the world that is going to join us today to help to celebrate this moment of Cali becoming a Bat Mitzvah. And for those of you that are not members of Cali's family, let me assure you, you are in for a treat because Cali has a beautiful voice and is going to be sharing with us not just the Torah that she has studied and the words of Torah that she is going to teach us, but also her gift of song and prayer so that we can all, from very different corners of the earth, celebrate together this morning. I am Rabbi Emily Hyatt. This is Cantor Sachs right next to me, and we're just so thrilled to be with you. And so we're going to begin this morning the way that we always begin prayer, and we're going to start with just a little bit of gratitude and of finding a way to take stock of what we have and who we are. So we're going to say goodbye to Cali for just a minute. She and her family are going to come back very shortly to join us and lead us in prayer. Well, it's Cantor Sachs and my job right now to just get us warmed up, right? We got to get ready to pray. And so the first thing that we do as we are preparing for this morning of prayer is thank God for our physical selves, for the bodies that we have that are working so well this morning that have allowed us to be here together. My God, I thank you for my life, body, and soul. Help me to realize that I am someone new, someone who never existed before, someone original and unique in the world. May I be fully present to this awesome day. May my body and soul be ready to do your work, unifying and strengthening one another, linked and renewed daily by your breath. Baruch atah Adonai, rofei chol basar umafli la'asot. Blessed are you, Adonai, who heals all flesh, working wondrously.
And now that we have given thanks for our physical selves, maybe not quite enough yet to do beach yoga, but enough to be here and present and thoughtful, we now give thanks for our spiritual selves. The part of ourselves that blossoms and flowers like the sunflower on the slide below me, and makes us unique in the world, as our prayer just reminded us. Elohai neshama shenatata bi, God, the soul you have given us, is pure. Aloha, aloha.
And so we have said thank you for our bodies, thank you for our souls and our spirits. And now we say thank you and we bless God for the power of the brains, that we have our minds, our ability to learn, discern information, and to learn from what Callie has to teach us this morning. And so we say together the blessing over the study of Torah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, who hallows us with mitzvot, commanding us to engage with words of Torah.
And now that we have given thanks for our physical selves, for our spiritual selves, and for our intellectual selves, we take all of that gratitude and we combine it into this expression of praise and thanks. Hallelujah, we praise God. Now, I know that we cannot hear everybody singing out loud, but I want you to know that everyone is free to participate and sing along at home where you are, and I'm sure that a piece of that will reach Callie, and she will know that you are all here with her in spirit and song.
Taken this moment to prepare ourselves to warm up, to say thank you, to take stock. We have these bodies, these souls, these minds, and this ability to rejoice together. And so with that, it is my great honor and privilege to welcome Callie back to the screen so that she can lead us in prayer.
We rise physically or spiritually for the Barhu. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, yotzer or uvoreh hoshe, oseh shalom uvoreh et hakol, hameir la'aretz veladarim aleha berahamim, uvtuvo mehadesh behol yom tamid ma'aseh vereshit, ma'rabu ma'aseha Adonai, kulam behochma asita, mal'ah ha'aretz kinyaneha. Titzvara Adonai Eloheinu al sheva ma'aseh yadeha, ve'al me'orei or she'asita yefa'aruha selah, or hadash al Tzion ta'ir, veniske hulanu mehera le'oro, Baruch atah Adonai, yotzer hame'orot. God, inspiration and guide for all. You have spoken in 1,000 tongues for us to hear. In every land and every age, your children have heard you and imagined you in separate ways. And yet, O God, you are one, unifier of humanity. We give thanks for the sages and teachers who bring us understanding of your will. Gratefully we recall the lawgivers and prophets, the psalmists and sages of Israel. And joyfully we remember that from the dawn of Israel's life, we would turn to you and find purpose. May the teachings of our ancestors live on in our minds, and their passion for righteousness stir in our hearts. Help us to live so that our daily conduct reveals the beauty and wisdom of your truth. Baruch atah Adonai, haboher be'amo Yisrael be'ahava. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha, ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher Anohi metzavecha hayom alevavecha, ve'shinantam levanecha ve'dibarta b'am, ve'shivtecha bebeitecha u'vletecha ve'aderech u'shovecha u'vkumecha, u'kshartam le'od al yadecha, ve'hayu ledot afot beineinecha, u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha. למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיהם. אני אדוני הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות להם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיהם. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect. The song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers now home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Mi hamo hapai ni madonai, mi hamo hane etzar bakodesh, norate hilo tosefele, norate hilo tosefele. Mi hamo hapai ni madonai, mi hamo hane etzar bakodesh, norate hilo tosefele, norate hilo tosefele. Rock of Israel, rise in support of Israel, and redeem Judah and Israel as you promised. Our Redeemer, Adonai Tsevaot, is your name. Baruch atah Adonai, Ga'al Yisrael. We continue with the tefillah. Please rise physically or spiritually. Adonai sevatai tifta ufi agid tehilateha. Adonai sevatai tifta ufi agid tehilateha. Open up my lips and let my mouth declare your praises. Adonai sevatai tifta ufi agid tehilateha. Adonai sevatai tifta ufi agid tehilateha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rahel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Behanora, El Elyon, Gomel Hasadim Tovim, Bekoneh Hakol, Bezoher Haste Avot Ve'imahot, Vigeulah Livnei V'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagin, Baruch atah Adonai, Magin Avraham, Vezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai, Mehaye Hakol atah, Rav Lehoshia, Morita atah, Mehalkel Haim Behesed, Mehaye Hakol Lerachamim Rabu, Someh Noflim Ferofeh Holim, Umatir Asuri, Umehayem Emunato, Mishanei Afar, Mihamoha Bal Givorot, Umidomela, Melech Memit, Umehayem, ישוע, ונאמנת להחיות הכל, ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשממה, ככתוב היה נביאך, וקרא זה ואמר, קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. אדיר אדירנו אדוני, אדוננו מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ, ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. אחד הוא אלוהינו, הוא אבינו, הוא מלכנו, הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו, ברחמיו לעיני כל חי. אני אדוני אלוהיהם, לא אדוני לעולם, אלוהיך ציון, לדור ודור. הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתה נקדיש ושבחה. אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. To all generations we will declare your greatness, and for all eternity proclaim your holiness. Your praise, O God, shall never depart from our lips. Blessed are you, Adonai, the Holy Sovereign.
Amen. Callie, that was so beautiful. What a beautiful service we are having here together. And we take this moment, now that we have said these prayers together and really warmed up, we take this moment to have a moment of silent prayer, of the prayers that are in our hearts or our minds. And we'll come back together in just a moment. take a little bit of time as we enter into our Torah service to participate, very cool, in this amazing opportunity to virtually visit our chapel. Now, if you were all here with us in person and we were living in a different time, we would be having Callie's bat mitzvah in this chapel that you now see on your screen. And this is our finer chapel. It's a beautiful space, and we miss it very much. But I want to tell you the story of this chapel. The things that you see, and inside that ark that's right there front and center, lives a Torah that all come from the city of Colleen. Now, where is Colleen? Colleen is a city that used to be in the country known as Czechoslovakia. And we have records of Jewish people living in Colleen all the way back to the 1400s. And from the 1400s on, the experience of the Jewish people that were living in Colleen was much like the experience of Jews all over Europe. Sometimes things were pretty good, and sometimes things were just a little bit harder. And we know that that history isn't always super easy. So things really changed for the Jewish community in Colleen in 1939. And you can probably guess 1939 is when Hitler and the Nazis reached the border of Czechoslovakia. And when that happened, the Jewish community in Czechoslovakia and in Colleen began to lose some of the basic rights that they had enjoyed as citizens of the country. They lost first rights to things like social opportunities and then jobs, right? Certain jobs that they weren't allowed to have. And then things got a little bit worse, and they lost the access to all kinds of jobs and employment, and to medical care, and to education, and then to food and to shelter. And things really took a turn for the worst in 1942. That is when Hitler and the Nazis reached the border of Colleen. Now, when that happened, two things happened. The first, in 1942, is that Hitler was building a museum that was going to be not the kind of museum that we go to today, where we enjoy and appreciate pieces of history or society that we want to honor and respect, but it was going to be the kind of museum, this museum that Hitler was building, that was going to be a testament to this people that Hitler had been able to get rid of. And so all of the Judaica and furniture and ritual items that were found in synagogues across Czechoslovakia were being stored until they could be displayed in this museum that was going to be built in Prague. And so all of the furniture and ritual items and the Judaica and the Torahs and everything that was in the synagogue in Colleen was sent to Prague to be stored. Now, the second thing that happened in 1942 is that all the people from Colleen, the Jewish people, were also sent away. Now, our numbers are really not great. We don't have exact numbers, but as far as we know, there were somewhere around 420 Jewish people living in Colleen proper, and then another 2,000 or 2,200 that were living in the surrounding smaller towns around Colleen. Every single one of them was sent to a concentration camp. As far as we know, at the end of the war, there were 16 survivors. Now, strangely, and we don't really know what happened, all of that furniture that got sent to Prague to be stored never made it. It was smuggled out somehow of Czechoslovakia, and it ended up in the basement of a synagogue in Zurich, Switzerland. And that's where it stayed until 1988. And in 1988, Rabbi Stephen Foster, who's the Rabbi Emeritus of our congregation here, was in the process of designing the chapel that you are looking at. And he happened to see an ad in a magazine asking if there were any other congregations that wanted to have this furniture and the ritual items from their basement. And so Rabbi Foster got on a plane and he went to Zurich, looked at, bought, had packed up and shipped home all of the furniture. And so you can see some of it in front of you. The ark, which is the big cabinet right front and center. Above it, there's 10 commandments. There's a parapet above that. On your left, you see a Torah stand, and you see 3 chairs that are called stenders. Those are chairs with little tables in front of them in Yiddish. And there's a candelabra and a chandelier that are in the back of our chapel that you can't see in this picture. Those 9 pieces came home to Denver, were restored, and were put in our chapel. And at this moment, Rabbi Foster, in a stroke of real thoughtfulness, thought, I wonder if there was a Torah from Colleen. And so he called the Westminster Synagogue in London, where 1,564 Torahs were sent after World War II. And it turns out there were 3 Torahs from the city of Colleen that used to live in that ark. 2 of them had actually already been placed in synagogues around the world to be used again. 1 was left. And so in 1942, there was a Torah taken out of this ark in Kolín, Czechoslovakia. And in 1988, we put that same Torah back in that same ark in Denver, Colorado. That's what we do. We pass our tradition on, however we can, however we must, so that we make sure that our children have the education and the resources and the blessings of our tradition and our community as they come of age. Now, if we were standing together in our chapel, then what we would do right now is have each of the grandparents of Callie and then her parents and then Callie take the Torah. We would pass the Torah physically down from one to the next. Instead, because we're all so far away tonight, we are going to pass a blessing in the exact same way. And so I'm going to call to join us right now, Jermaine and Carl Polsky, Lois and Jerry Carr, who are Callie's 2 sets of grandparents, who are in very different places all over the world right now, but who are going to join us to give a blessing. We're going to hear from Jermaine and Carl, and then we're going to hear from Lois and Jerry, and then Karen, and then James are going to bless Callie in that order.
Our hearts are one on this joyous day as you commit yourself to a life of Torah, a life, we pray, filled with wisdom, caring, and right action.
We pray that you will grow each day in compassion for the needy, in concern for the stranger, in love of all people.
You blessed our ancestors, Abraham and Sarah, Isaac and Rebekah, Jacob and Rachel and Leah. Bless you on becoming your B'nai Mitzvah.
May you grow with strength and courage, with vision and sensitivity, and may you always be certain of our love.
Amen.
We are gifts and we are blessings. We are history in song. We are hope and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. Ledor vador, nagir god lecha. Ledor vador, we protect this chain from generation to generation. Ledor vador, these lips will praise your name.
So beautiful. It's almost like passing the Torah from person to person, maybe differently and even more special. We're going to take a moment now to prepare for our Torah reading. And actually, what is going to be really neat about that is you get a chance to see the Torah up close. So in a minute, you're going to see pop onto the screen a slide of Torah text. And it turns out the Torah scroll is really cool. We have no idea who is watching and if you have had a chance to see a Torah scroll before. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about it before we actually get to hearing Callie read from the Torah. So let me tell you, here we go. Thank you. So a Torah scroll is written in this beautiful script, as you see in front of you, and it's written by a special calligrapher or scribe called a sofer or a soferet. It takes about a year and a half for a scribe to write one single Torah scroll. That's crazy. It's a long time. And here's the catch. Every single letter has to be perfect and correct. And that's a lot because there are 304,805 letters in the Torah. Fun fact, save that. It'll be on like Jeopardy someday. It won't. Nobody's going to put that on Jeopardy. So this scribe writes the Torah, and like I said, every letter has to be correct. So what happens if the scribe makes a mistake at the very end of the last book of the Torah? The whole thing gets tossed out? No way. Don't worry. It's not that bad. What happens is if the ink is still wet. Now let me tell you about the ink really quick. The ink is written with a quill and ink. If you've seen Harry Potter, you know what I'm talking about. Thank God for Harry Potter. Otherwise, I don't know how I'd explain this. And it's written on parchment, which is the skin of a kosher animal, the treated skin. And so if the ink is still wet when the scribe is writing, it sits on top of the parchment, almost like a little bubble. You can sort of picture that if you were to look at it like this. And so if there is a mistake in the text, then the scribe can just scrape it off with a razor blade and rewrite because that ink hasn't sunk in and dried yet. However, there are two reasons why we wouldn't do that. One is if the ink is already dry, in which case it can't be removed. Two, if that mistake happens in a word that contains the name of God. If that were to happen, we would not take that ink out. We would take that whole piece. It's called a cloth. It's a section of the text that has about 6 columns, and we would bury it in a Jewish cemetery. That's what we do with our holy documents when we can no longer use them. Now, if you look closely at this text, you'll see that there are some really cool looking things in the text. At the top of the letters, you see little tiny flourishes and embellishments coming out of some of the letters. And you might see at the very top of the screen, there's some of the letters that are stretched out, way out. Now, there's 2 reasons for this. The first reason is because there are deep mystical meanings in each of these decorations. Letters that are longer than others, letters that have a lot of crowns, that's what we call the embellishments. We're supposed to learn something from those embellishments or from those words. We're supposed to look deeper. But there's another more practical reason why you might see some of those letters stretched out, and that is because we are not on Microsoft Word and you cannot justify your margins. And so sometimes the scribe has to make the letters long so that the columns are even on the ends. Not as beautiful, but equally as practical. Now, I want to tell you one more thing, which is that if you notice in this text, there are no dots and lines like you might see if you were looking in a prayer book or on the slides that we had before. There's lots of dots and lines in Hebrew. Those are vowels and cantillation marks called trope. Those are musical notes, and they're not in the Torah. And we do that because it is super fun for us to torture our B'nai Mitzvah students as they're learning to read from the Torah. We take away all the helpers. That's not why we do it. It's not fun for us to torture them. We do it because the Torah scroll and its writing and calligraphy actually predates modern ideas of literacy. That means that when we first got the Torah scroll, most people couldn't read. And so it wasn't intended for everybody to be able to read directly from the Torah. All of those helpers, the vowels that tell us how to pronounce, and the cantillation marks, those musical notes that tell us how to sing the words, didn't come until much later when people began to learn how to read and needed those helping hands. And so we read from the Torah in its original form without any of those helpers. And that means that we have 2 parts to each Torah reading, and I will tell you about that in just a second. The last thing that you see is that silver pointer. That's called a yad. This one looks like a finger. It's a pointer finger. That's because what's on our hands, the oils and whatever dirt, we don't want to mess up the Torah. It might corrupt the letters or smear them or get it dirty or make it not last as long. And so we're really careful to not use our hands to touch the Torah. We just use the yad. So that's a little bit about the Torah scroll. And what we're going to do now is invite a whole bunch of people onto the screen. A lot of Cali's family from a lot of different states and countries are going to join us. And Sean is going to invite them all onto the screen right now for the first Aliyah. Now, let me explain to you what that means as everybody is popping onto the screen. What that means is we have 2 parts to the Torah reading. I just told you, not everybody used to be able to read from the Torah. And so we would have one person who was literate, who knew how to read. In that case today, it's going to be Callie, who's going to read our Torah. And everybody else was responsible for saying the blessing over the Torah reading. That's called an aliyah. In Hebrew, that means to go up. Spiritually and physically, you are elevated when you have the opportunity to say a blessing over the Torah reading. And in the case of today and in a bat mitzvah, when we share that Torah reading and that blessing with so many people, it is an honor that we give to those that we want to participate in the celebration of Callie's bat mitzvah and of this Torah reading. So I think that's everybody. This is an amazing group of people. And I am going to turn it over to Daniel and Valerie and Lily to say our blessing over the first aliyah for us now.
Actually, wait, before we do that, really quickly, Callie is going to tell us a teensy tiny bit about what's going to happen in her Torah portion.
Thank you. I got so excited. Go ahead, Callie.
Okay, Callie.
Our portion for this Shabbat is Bamidbar, from the book of Numbers. In this Torah portion, God commands Moses to take a census of the entire Israelite community. I'll be reading from chapter 1, verses 1 through 23.
Okay, now I think we're ready. Are we ready? Okay, we're going to say the blessing over our Torah reading and then listen to that Torah reading. Go ahead.
Baruch hu et Adonai havorach.
Baruch Adonai Hambarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai havorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai notein ha'torah.
Amen. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe במדבר סיני באוהל מועד באחד לחודש השני בשנה השנית לצאתם מארץ מצרים לאמור שאו את ראש כל הדת בני ישראל למשפטם לביתם במספר שמות כל זהר לגולגלתם מבין 20 שנה ומעלה כל יוצאי צבא בישראל תפקדו אותם לצבאתם אתה ואהרון ואתם יהיו איש איש למטה איש ראש לבית אבותיו הוא. On the first day of the second month, in the second year following the exodus from the land of Egypt, the Eternal One spoke to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in a tent of meeting, saying, Take a census of the whole Israelite company of fighters, by the clans of its ancestral houses, listing the names, every male, head by head. You and Aaron shall record them by their groups, from the age of 20 years up, all those in Israel who are able to bear arms. Associated with you shall be a representative of each tribe, each one the head of his ancestral house.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chaye olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai notein ha'torah.
Amen. Great job, everyone.
Beautifully done. Thank you, everyone, for being here with us to celebrate this Aliyah. We are going to do a quick crew switch right now as we say goodbye to that section of the family, all of those cousins that were here to celebrate with us this morning. And we are going to bring on now the next Aliyah. Those that are going to say the blessing for this next piece of our service, as Callie is again going to be our Torah reader. And we are going to call Judy and Ariella, who are an aunt and a cousin, and Steve, Kirsten, Alexa, and Maddie, also aunts, uncles, and cousins, and Anna, Henry, Scarlett, and Bindi. also aunts, uncles, and cousins. So that's going to be those that are going to say our blessing for the second Aliyah. And here we go.
Ready? Baruch Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach Leolam Vaed.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Ha'amim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
And ve'ele shemot ha'anashim asher ya'amdu yitem Reuven Elitzor ben Shedeor LeShimon Shlumiel ben Turishadzai Yehuda Nachshon ben Aminadzah LeIssachar Nathanael ben Tuar Lizvulun Eliav ben Helon Livnei Yosef Le'Ephraim Elishama ben Amihud Limnashe Gamliel ben Pedatsur. These are the names of the representatives who shall assist you. From Reuben, Elitzur, son of Shedeor. From Simon, Shlumiel, son of Turishadzai. From Judah, Nachshon, son of Aminadav. From Issachar, Nathanael, son of Tuar. From Zebulun, Eliab, son of Helon. From the sons of Joseph. From Ephraim, Elishama, son of Amihud. From Manasseh, Gamliel, son of Pedatsur.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nasa b'tohenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Beautiful. Thank you. I like the sign. Good touch. For our third Aliyah, we are going to call a whole new group up as we say goodbye to the second Aliyah crew. And we are going to call up now all of Cali's grandparents. Let's see, I'm finding my place for this. So we are going to call Carl and Jermaine Polsky and Jerry and Lois Carr to come on to the screen as we move into our third Aliyah and our third Torah reading.
Baruch Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vaed. Baruch Adonai Baruch Leolam Vaed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Vin Yamin Avidan ben Gironi Le'etan Ahiezer ben Amishadzai Le'asher Pagiel ben Ochran Le'gad Al-Yasaf ben Deuel Le'naftali Ahira ben Enan. From Benjamin, Avidan, son of Gidoni. From Dan, Ahiezer, son of Amishadzai. From Asher, Pagiel, son of Ochran. From Gad, Eliasaph, son of Deuel. From Naphtali, Ahira, son of Enan.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'chayei olam natan b'tzolkenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Yasher Koach, and beautiful job. Thank you all so much. And for our fourth Aliyah, we're going to stick a little closer to home, and we are going to call up Callie's parents, Callie's mom, Karen, and dad, James, to have our fourth blessing over the Torah reading.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMbarach.
Baruch Adonai HaMbarach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Asher Bachar Banu Mikol Hamim V'natan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ele Kiruei Haida Nesiei Matot Avotam Rashi Alfei Israel Haim Veikach Moshe Ve'Aaron Et Ha'anashim Ha'ele Asher Nikvu B'Shemot Ve'et Kol Ha'eda Hikilu Behat LaHodesh Hasheni ויתיידעו על משפטם לביתם, ומספר שמות מבין 20 שנה ומעלה לגלגלתם, כאשר ציווה אדוני את משה ויפקדם במדבר סיני. Those are the elected of the assembly, the chieftains of their ancestral tribes. They are the heads of the contingents of Israel. So Moses and Aaron took those representatives who were designated by name, and on the first day of the second month, they convoked the whole company of fighters who were registered by the clans of their ancestral houses, and the names of those aged 20 years and over being listed head by head. As the Eternal had commanded Moses, so he recorded them in the wilderness of Sinai.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu torat emet, v'chayei olam nata b'dochenu, Baruch atah Adonai, noten ha'torah.
Amen.
And for our last Aliyah this morning, this is actually one of the cool traditions that we have, is that Callie reading the Torah itself is not the thing that signifies that she has become bat mitzvah. We don't acknowledge the moment of bat mitzvah or recognize that it is happening in this big, amazing way until we get right now, to this moment right now, because Callie is going to say her own blessing. And so as she gets ready to do that, and is prepared for that moment, we're going to take a pause, because this is actually at this spiritual height, the moment when we say a blessing for healing. We say a prayer for healing, asking for extra love and energy for those in our lives that might need it, especially at a time like right now. So we are going to hold for just one moment for that prayer. Say a second verse, but our tradition is that we pause now to say the names of all those in our lives that we wish could have that healing, that we want to pray for. And so our tradition is that you say out loud those names. If you are joining us on Facebook, you can type them into the comment section. We put those names out into the universe, and we hope that they will heal soon in body and in soul, mind and spirit. And we especially pray for the healing and the safety of all of those that are on the front lines right now, fighting so that we can hopefully someday have a world that feels a little more normal and we can celebrate in person again soon. So we put those names out there as we join together in the second verse of our prayer for healing. And so it is with those thoughts and prayers in our minds that we return to our Torah service, to this final aliyah, to the moment of recognizing Cali becoming a bat mitzvah, to hearing her not only read for us her Torah reading one more time, but to listening to her say her own blessing. And so it is my privilege and honor to call to the Torah for the very first time as a bat mitzvah, Cali Carr.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorah.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amim, Benatan Lanu Et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen.
Vayihu Bnei Reuven Behor Yisrael Toldotam Lemishperotam Leveitavotam Lemizbahar Shemot Legulgalotam Kol Zahar Miben Esrim Shana Vamala Go Yotzei Tzava Pekudehem Lometei Reuven Shisha Ve'arba'im Elef Ve'hamesh Me'ot Livnei Shimon Toldotam Lemishperotam Leveitavotam Pegudav Bemizbahar Shemot Legulgalotam Kol Zahar Miben Esrim Shana Vamala Go Yotzei Tzava Pegudehem Lometei Shimon Tisha Ve'hamishim Elef Ushlosh Me'ot. They totaled as follows: the descendants of Reuben, Israel's firstborn, the registration of the clans of their ancestral house, as listed by name, head by head. All males aged 20 years and over, all who were able to bear arms. Those enrolled from the tribe of Reuben, 46,500. Of the descendants of Simon, the registration of the clans of their ancestral house, their enrollment as listed by name, head by head. All males aged 20 years and over, all who were able to bear arms. So those enrolled from the tribe of Simon, 59,300. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech HaOlam, Asher Natan Hanu Torat Emet V'Hayei Olam Nata Betoheinu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Amen. Simin Tov U'Mazel Tov U'Mazel Tov Simin Tov U'Mazel Tov U'Mazel Tov and Simin Tov U'Mazel Tov Mazel Tov and Simin Tov Yelanu. Okay, everybody who can hug Hug each other. Yes, even your sister. Go for it. There you go. Good hugging. Very, very nice. Beautiful, beautiful job, everybody.
Great work, Callie. Those were beautiful Torah readings. Thank you so much for sharing those with us this morning. And I am going to give you just a second to take a deep breath as we move into the next section of our service right now, which is the Haftorah reading, which sounds like Torah, but is different. It actually comes from the Book of Prophets, our Haftorah readings. And our tradition teaches that probably Haftorah readings came from a time in our history when we weren't allowed to read from the Torah publicly. And so we started reading from other books. And so the Haftorah reading became a piece of our tradition and our weekly celebration of Shabbat. And Callie is going to read for us this morning a beautiful piece of Haftorah, one that actually is so gorgeous that often I have seen couples use some of the words that she is going to chant for us in just a second as wedding vows. So Callie, I'm going to invite you to tell us a little bit about your Haftorah before you read for us. Go ahead.
The Haftarah for this Shabbat is from Hosea chapter 2, verses 20 through 22. In this Haftarah, Hosea describes the love between God and the people of Israel. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bahar b'nvi'im tovim v'ratzav et divreihem hane'emarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai haboher batorah uv'Moshe avdo uv'Yisrael amo uv'nvi'ei hamet v'tzedek. V'harati lahem berit bayom hahu im hayat hasadeh ve'imov hashamayim ve'remes ha'adamah ve'keshet ve'herev u'milhama eshbor min ha'aretz ve'hishkaftim la'aveta ve'eres tifli le'olam ve'eres tifli b'tzedek u'mishpat uv'hesed u'v'rahamim ve'eres tifli ve'emunah v'yadat et Adonai. On that day I will make a covenant for them with beasts of the field, birds of the air, and with creeping things on the ground. I will remove the bow, the sword, and war from the land, and make them lie down in safety. I will betroth you to me forever. I will betroth you to me in righteousness and justice, in steadfast love and compassion. I will betroth you to me in faithfulness, and you shall know the Eternal. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam tu kol haolamim tzadik bechol hadorot ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer ve'osei ha'mdaber u'mkayem shekol devorav emet v'tzedek al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al hanvi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh shenatata lanu Adonai Eloheinu likdusha v'linuha lehavod u'tifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim la umbarchim ota yitbarach shimcha v'fi kol hay tamid leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat.
Amen. I think Cantor Sax froze for just a second, but I bet she'll be right back. This is the joys of technology, so we'll get her back in just a second. Callie, beautiful. Beautiful. Everything you have shared with us has been so beautiful today. And we arrive at a different part of our service now, where we're going to switch from Hebrew to English, which is good. So you can take a big, deep breath as you have gotten through so much of this incredible chanting and singing that you have done for us. And we have the opportunity now to hear from you, not as a chanter or a sharer of ancient words, but as a teacher of your own thoughts. And so I am going to call you now to give a Devar Torah and teach us a little bit about your Torah portion.
Okay. My Torah portion, Bamidbar, takes place 2 years, 2 months, and 1 day following the Exodus from Egypt. The Israelites were walking through the desert and the wilderness of Sinai. Moses and Aaron were ordered to take a census of all male Israelites over the age of 20 who could be a soldier. Representatives were selected from each tribe to count the fighters. Each person was to be counted and have their name listed. It was said that each man was to come up and have his name recorded instead of each family just recording its numbers. Names mean more than numbers because when you assign people numbers, they become objects. But when you list names and a bit of their background, you can feel who people are. I chose this part of the text because the census is taking place this year in the U.S. While it is important to know how many people live in our country, there is also a risk. By counting the people through numbers, the story of each person gets lost, which is why I like that the Israelites chose to take names instead of numbers, because by honoring each person's name, they were recognizing their individuality. This part of the text relates to me for 2 reasons. Numbers are a big part of the news right now. First, because the census is taking place this year, and second, because of the way we are all tracking the coronavirus. While the Israelites chose to honor each person, instead of just giving people numbers, right now in the U.S., it feels like we just give numbers, and this means we might forget who people really are. Relating to the coronavirus, when you hear 800 people died in New York City, it doesn't mean anything. But when you learn about the people and think about their families and the people who love them, those numbers take on a whole new meaning, and we have an opportunity to feel for them. If people were to give a list of names and some background, it gives us the chance to feel empathy and to stand in solidarity with those who have lost loved ones. It teaches me to recognize each person for who they are and not to categorize them as objects. I chose the Jewish value Ledor Vador, which means from generation to generation. It means embracing things in our family's history like we were there. This connects to my portion because in most censuses, people are just given numbers. But in Judaism, the census is meant to be taken with people's names, so it honors some of their family history. Ledor Vador is about listening to stories. How much more powerful would the census, and sadly, the tracking of the impact of the coronavirus be if we didn't talk about the numbers, but we talked about the stories? We could tell where each of these people came from and what was important to them, so that their own families can participate in Ledor Vador by passing on their own stories. We are lucky to be a people who count by name. We would not be where we are today if our ancestors hadn't passed down their knowledge and stories. My bat mitzvah has encouraged me to start learning more about my family. I would like to learn their stories and connect with them on a higher level. I've heard stories of my great-great-uncle Harold in Philadelphia during the Spanish flu, and my grandmother going to summer camp to get out of Philadelphia during the polio outbreak. My grandparents have told me about the bombings in London during World War II, and my great-aunt Liz, who was a codebreaker. My grandparents were all entrepreneurs. The story of my parents, who met in Vail while skiing. These are all stories of my family, but they are more than stories. They make me who I am today. When I learned the stories of my family, I became able to pass them on to my children and grandchildren. They will all be remembered. I would like to invite the community to join me in learning your own family histories and stories so they won't be forgotten. If the situation right now has taught us anything, it is that we don't know how much longer our loved ones will be able to tell their stories. And so, while we have a lot of time on our hands right now, we should talk to the ones we love and hear the stories that we don't already know, and start to make sure that the people in our lives and in our generations will be names and not just numbers. I would like to thank my mom for taking so much time planning, bringing my bat mitzvah together, and always being there for me. My dad for supporting me through this process. My sister Eliana for always making me laugh and letting me practice with her. Rabbi Hyatt for helping me write my speech and officiating this service. Cantor for helping me through this bat mitzvah process. Hagit Wasserman for being my tutor for the past 3 years and teaching me all my Hebrew. My Uncle Daniel for helping me learn my Torah and Haftarah, and everyone who is here supporting me at my bat mitzvah. I will now conclude with the prayer of thanks. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, shehachiyanu v'kiyamanu v'hikiyanu lazman hazeh.
Amen. Callie, what does that mean? Can you read the English for us?
Praise to you, Adonai our God, sovereign of the universe, for giving us life, for sustaining us, and for enabling us to reach this season. Amen.
Amen. Beautiful, beautiful job. So now's the time where you get to take a really deep breath and maybe even a sip of water from the glass that's next to you. Such a gorgeous job this morning. I know we've said that a lot, but I hope that your family, I think I know that your family and the whole community that's gathered here today knows just how much you took on for this service. That I've made a lot of jokes up into this process that like I pretty much didn't even really need to be here today, but that's actually true in a very nice and beautiful way. You really took process. Oh, hello. That's a nice friend who's there who wants to agree with me that you took beautiful ownership of this process and you made it your own, and you sang everything in your own voice and in your own way. That was so beautiful and so authentically who you are. So for that, I say thank you for leading us in prayer and for helping to just to display for the community what happens when you really figure out what this process means to you and for you. So thank you for that. I now get the wonderful job of presenting you or telling you about all the beautiful gifts that you are going to receive from our community. So among the things that you will receive as a celebration of your bat mitzvah, we will have a bat mitzvah certificate for you that will have your name, both in Hebrew and in English, and the date on which you became bat mitzvah and your Torah portion. And on it will also be an inscription of a piece of text, a piece of Torah. And we hope that what that certificate helps you remember is that today is not only an amazing celebration of everything that you've accomplished, but today is also an affirmation that you are part of a community that is going to be there for you throughout your entire life, because this community is connected through the values we learn from our sacred texts, some of which you taught us in your Devar Torah just a few moments ago. And so I hope that you will keep that certificate as a special reminder of that connection, of a community that's here for you in times of celebration and also in times of difficulty, and sometimes when those two moments in our world intersect, like at a moment such as this. We also have a gift of planting a tree in Israel for you, so that when you go on your many world travels, you can go and visit your tree in Israel, as well as a financial gift toward travel to Israel with our IST program or any other Israel program that you're interested in. We have gifts from our brotherhood and sisterhood, a Kiddush cup and a mezuzah, so that you can have a Jewish home no matter where you are. And we have a bag of goodies from our youth group, our Temple youth group, so that you remember that Temple is fun. And last but not least, we have a gift from the clergy. It is a Torah commentary for teens called Text Messages. And on the inside front cover, each of the clergy have written you a beautiful message about what a pleasure it is to have learned from you and with you coming to this moment. So Callie, I really have so enjoyed getting to know you through this process. I really admire the dedication and the motivation that you have to get this done. It has been so fantastic to hear your voice. The only thing that I am sad about on this day is that we did not get a chance to sing together. That really is something that I greatly look forward to in the many years to come as we continue to grow our love for Jewish music together. So thank you for everything that you have done and for the person who you are that you have displayed beautifully today. And now it is my privilege to call your parents onto the screen so that they can also, there they are, share some words of blessing with you. So Karen and James, why don't you come and take a seat?
Get James out of the picture for me. Callie, I feel I need to take a deep breath. You are wonderful, and we are so proud of how you did today. It's hard to believe that we're at this day, your bat mitzvah, and a crazy road it's been. Certainly not what we imagined, but it will be unforgettable. And although we're not celebrating in the way we had planned, I hope that you feel the love of being surrounded by friends and family from around the world. I want to acknowledge a few people who helped you to get to this day. Thank you to Cantor Sachs, Rabbi Hyatt, Hagit Wasserman, your Uncle Dan for helping you prepare. So this has been a long process. I remember at the start, we weren't exactly sure what this would look like for our family, but as you do with everything you do, you embraced it. You took this challenge upon yourself, learning, diligently practicing, and most importantly, enjoying the process. Callie, we are always taken with your optimism, positivity, and your determination to accomplish and succeed. I think back to one of your bat mitzvah classes that we took together with Cantor Sachs as to why we celebrate occasions, to put a marker. Our lives are normally so busy that days and weeks seem to pass so quickly. Honestly, it really does feel like yesterday that you were a baby, a toddler, a child, a tween, and in a blink of the eye, you have grown up to be just the most beautiful young adult. So, although these recent weeks have brought a lot of disappointment, it's been a really special time for your father and I, having time to just be with you all day, all night. Family dinners, talking about the world, pandemics, politics, environment, baking, jumping on the trampoline, watching movies, and looking at old photos, arguing a bit about screen time. So just before marking this transition of you becoming an adult, your father and I were blessed with this extra time with you. So, Callie, your Devar Torah highlighted how a name is more important than a number. And as you continue into adulthood and create your own stories, your father and I want you to remember your name, because your name is a reminder of those who became before you, their stories, their challenges, their hard work and determination for a better life, their adventures and their joys. All these stories are making the framework of your story. So your name, Callie, so C-A-L-I, are the initials of your 4 great-grandparents, my grandparents. Khorasan was your great-grandmother, representing your grandmother's family, and Kar, your father-grandfather's family. They were immigrants, entrepreneurs, bakers, butchers, skiers, and sportsmen, but all determined and dedicated to family. And family has always been important to you. Summers in England, riding the waves at the shore, and of course, skiing with your grandparents, parents, and cousins. We wish for you to always surround yourself with family. Stay connected to your family in person, and in this case, virtually. Your Hebrew name is Aviva, or spring. You were born on the first day of spring, March 20th. You always have a sparkle in your eye, a smile, and a determination to work hard and reach your goals. And you are that first daffodil, pushing through the inches of snow, bringing smiles and hope of spring. So we don't want you to lose that. We love you. We are so proud. We're grateful to have the privilege of being your parents, the unnumbered joys we've had. We feel so fortunate to be able to stop and reflect on this day, to marvel at the person you've become. So your bat mitzvah is the mark and time for us to let go, a time for watching you become more independent, form your own opinions. You realize you're not fully an adult because I expect tomorrow I'm going to have to wake you up and put your laundry away and make dinner, but you're also no longer a child. So we stand here today with some apprehension because we recognize we're no longer fully in control of your life, even though we will always be there for you. But more than that, we stand here with confidence in you as a person, your compassion, capabilities, and judgment. We love you. So, I give you this. And then.
Thank you everyone for being here today to celebrate Cali's bat mitzvah. From Uncle Dan and Aunt Valerie in Hawaii to Aunt Judy and Ariella in Switzerland, this celebration stretches across 13 time zones from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It's nothing short of amazing. Thank you each and every one of you for making this such a special occasion for Cali and our whole family. And isn't it wonderful how we humans adapt? Though we'd all prefer to be together in person in what is a beautiful day outside here in Denver, this has been a moving, intimate alternative. Thank you, Rabbi Hyatt and Cantor for such a beautiful personal service. I love the irony that we're using an incredible modern technology to continue such an ancient tradition. Cali, you sang and read beautifully. You make us so proud. We're proud of your academics, your skiing, your singing, your soccer. Yes, we're proud of so much that you do. But most of all, we're proud of your positive attitude and your calm serenity, with only the occasional teenage interlude. And we're proud of the dedication and effort that underlies your achievements. You're amazingly conscientious in your studies. Thank you for asking me to quiz you. I've enjoyed learning about the American War of Independence, even if you are being taught a rather US-centric point of view. Seriously though, as a parent, these opinions and spread your wings. Your speech talked about family, stories, and generations. I'm going to pause. It said our internet was unstable. Okay, I think we're back. Your family has a history of skiing on both sides of your family, with many seminal moments or stories along the way. Hanging on our wall in Vale, you've seen the ski photos of your relatives in Europe in 1914. Smiling faces with no idea of the dark clouds of the First World War on the horizon. Yes, skiing goes back a long way in this family. And you've heard the story of Granny and Grandpa meeting on a ski holiday in Switzerland, and of Mum and Pop leaving the freezing ice of the Poconos. We've heard about these horrific mountains, to make their way to the ski mountains out west, the first step that led to your mother choosing to live in Colorado. And of course, you've heard of the fateful ski holiday I came on and met your mother in Vale. She took me skiing in Powder through the trees, something you love now. We, speaking on behalf of your grandparents too, couldn't be happier that you're continuing the family tradition of loving skiing, that you've taken skiing to a whole new level for this family with your success. We love watching you set yourself a goal and work hard to achieve it, while enjoying every step along the way. But again, what gives us the most pleasure is the characteristics you show. Humble in the face of success, positive in the face of failure. On those rare occasions when things don't go well, it's your ability to focus on those positives, to keep your eye on the goal and to formulate a plan to get there that shows your inner strength. It's these situations that say so much about you, and it's these characteristics that will take you far as you continue your journey into adulthood. Our wish is for you that you always have a passion that you pursue that puts a smile on your face and that rewards you for the effort you put in. There'll be bumps in the road, but we'll be here to guide you and cheer you on. We love you.
What beautiful blessings and what real blessings and true blessings those are. And Callie, I have just one more opportunity to do the same thing, to say just a few words about you before we all give you one final blessing and prepare to conclude our service. And I just want to point out two things that you read today. The first, as you read in your Torah portion, and then as you taught us in your Devar Torah, you spoke to us about the importance of seeing each person for an individual. I have to say, that feels especially true when thinking about this experience with you and your desire to participate in a really significant way in this service. Many B'nai Mitzvah students, with totally good reason, don't do quite as much as you do, and their urge to share their voice feels different and looks different. And so, just in seeing all of the B'nai Mitzvah students as a community and as a group, each of you brings something different, and you brought today most definitely your voice, the beautiful passion that you approached your learning with, your commitment to study, your dedication to this project, right? This project of learning and taking on your Jewish tradition. But even more than that, and I referenced it for a second before, your Haftorah is one of my favorites. Some of the Haftorahs are really weird. You got a beautiful one. And what it talks about is the relationship between people and God, between the people and our God, but also between, right, it's the people and our tradition that we're passing down right now. And those words that you said, Ve'erestich li leolam, I will commit myself to you forever. I will commit myself to you in love and in righteousness and in service. And like I said, we sometimes use those words in place of vows at a Jewish wedding ceremony. But I also feel like they're just so perfect and appropriate for you to have said today, because that's exactly what you did. You committed yourself to this work wholeheartedly and with every fiber of your being and with a whole lot of hope for good and beauty in the world. And we are feeling it. And I get the impression that that's how you commit yourself to everything. To your family, to your schoolwork, to your skiing, to your friends, to all the things that you do with your whole self. And that is a beautiful gift to be bringing into the world. You know that when you're talking to Callie, you are getting every piece of her, and that she is committed with every fiber of her being. And so thank you for that. And I bless you that you always have the capacity to do that, and that you always have the love and the gratifying satisfaction that comes from each of those moments and projects and accomplishments that you take on. We're so proud of you. And so with that, I'm going to call Cantor Sachs back onto the screen. We are going to give you one final blessing that we give to our children at every special moment in their lives. And so we give you that blessing now.
Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
Callie, may God bless you and keep you.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
And may God's light shine upon you, and may God be gracious to you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Shalom.
And may you be blessed with the opportunity to see God's face in all of the people around you who love you and who are celebrating with you near and far. And we wish for you the greatest gift of all, the gift of peace.
Amen.
We will continue with the Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latetz gedula leotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kegoyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpechot adama, shelo sam halkeinu kehem, vegor aleinu kehol hamonam, ve'anachnu korim umishtavim umodim, livnei melech malhei hamlahim, Hakadosh Baruch Hu.
Take a moment now for memory. And we end each one of our services with thoughts of those who are no longer with us and who we miss. And Callie, I loved hearing your mom talk about where your name came from and how many people are so beautifully honored in each letter of your name. That is cool. And what a good reminder of how we are a product of those who came before us and made it possible for us to be in this moment. And so on behalf of the Polsky Carr family, we are thinking of today Marilyn Gitterman, Jack Gitterman, and Stanley Polsky, wishing that they were here, but grateful for all that they contributed to your lives and your family. And we are thinking of all of the others that are in each of your lives joining us today that you miss, that you wish were here with us, that you are grateful for each of them. And we join together, as is your custom or mine, with the ancient words of the Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabba, ve'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon uvyamechon v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uvizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach leolam uleomei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shemei dekudesha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama Rabba min shemaya. V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
And may the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved. And let us say, Amen. Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleichem, Le'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleichem, Le'al Kol Yisrael. And so now we will conclude our service so appropriately, especially for this family, with a song about singing. We are going to conclude with the words Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah. Let us sing a song of praise to God. And Callie, I really cannot imagine a better ending sentence for your bat mitzvah service. Everything that you do sings praises to God. Hava Nashira, Shir Hallelujah. Let us celebrate together. Ava, Ava, Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. 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 Hava, Hava, Nashira, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava, Nashira, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava, Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah. Hava, Hava, Nashira, Shir Hallelujah, Shir Hallelujah.
Eloheinu ve'Elohei kol dorotenu, to the God of this generation and every generation that has come before and will come after us. We are so grateful for the opportunity to pray together this morning and to celebrate with Callie and her family. This is like such an amazing view right now of everybody. Also, just knowing how many time zones you guys are in. We are so grateful for the minds and the brains that invented the technology that allow us to celebrate with each other in this space, even though we can't be together physically. And we pray, God, please, for the specialness of this moment to stick with us and the lessons that Callie has taught us to carry us through the next week in this strange world, that we should look at each face of each person individually, to know their name, to ask their story, to treat each person like somebody who is unique and an individual and worth knowing. That is a lesson worth learning. And so, Callie, thank you for teaching us. Thank you all for being with us and for celebrating with us all. And we wish you a Shabbat Shalom.